for a couple of years. Let me just pause the recording a sec. Let me introduce Daryl. He's an amazing accountant.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to say that I was glad I was in Tenerife and not Glasgow, because it wouldn't have shown me to my best effect. So there we go. Yeah, Daryl Davies from Davies Architects Accountants. We've been going for 4 years now. I have a good team around me. So we are now a team of 12, some part-time, some full-time, but all very experienced people. We don't aspire to be a team of 200 because we recognize the importance of being proactive, knowing our clients, and giving the best possible service that we can for a reasonable fee. The whole accountancy world has changed recently. In the last few years, we are aware that we are now more business advisors than processors. I think with the advent of making tax digital, some businesses have already been cornered into that. I have to talk to you about that today. That's one of the things I want to talk to you about in a bit. Other businesses are going to be collared into that within the next 2 years, and it's just a very big time of change. Big time of change. Just before I start, I noticed that Jamie said about the impression and how people kind of how you feel about in yourself when you are dressed for work. I'm actually at home at the minute, but I did actually work from the office this morning, so I put my shirt and tie on, came home, decided to keep wearing my shirt and tie. I don't know whether you can see, but I'm wearing my Wolverhampton Wanderers tie. I'm not actually a fan. My son's a fan, so I thought I'd get a tie because I have to take him to the odd match now and again. I suppose really to make myself feel really motivated, I should be wearing a Manchester City tie. I might get one of those, I don't know. Maybe. So we are, I've got to talk about accountancy, I've got to talk about tax, I've got to talk about bits and pieces. I do recognise that people scan down the names and decided to go and pick up their kids from school. So I get that, because obviously the accountants loom in and you know, maybe they don't want to listen to him waffle on. But I've got a few things to say in relevance to the money side of things, and I think it's just really summing up the important changes that are going on in my world and will affect all of you as business owners, really. So we are in difficult times. Cost of living crisis, fuel, electricity, gas obviously has a knock-on effect to food. And it's important for us all to get the best out of our business. Business interaction of personal finances and business finances is all one and the same thing. It doesn't matter whether you run a limited company, whether you're in a sole trader partnership, or however you operate. It's all interrelated, because if your business isn't doing very well, then you can't earn a wage from your business. We have to handle management information within our businesses. I think the days of a Tesco carrier bag full of screwed up receipts are possibly a distant memory now. I'm trying to scan some of the faces to see if there's some guilty looks there, but essentially we have moved into a digital age now. As I alluded to earlier, a lot of people are now on cloud-based accounting, whether that be Xero, whether that be Free Agent, whether that be QuickBooks or Sage. I think the importance of having something which is live and in the cloud is highly important. Making tax digital has kind of driven that in a way. It's dictated already that VAT registered businesses have had to go that way. People who were working out of Tesco carrier bags full of screwed up receipts have probably dreaded the whole transition to that scenario. But to be honest, even though in April 2024, the rest of the businesses are going to have to follow, sole traders are going to have to be reporting quarterly figures. Any individual with property income, even if they just do a tax return, if they've got rental property with an income of over £10,000, they're going to have to be reporting quarterly figures, not just on their annual self-assessment. They've got to be reporting it through cloud-based accounting. All these people probably have moaned at different times about this transition, because it's yet another worry, yet another something to be bothered with within their company or their business, when they've got so many other things to already worry about. However, the transition has been very interesting for us, because We've seen people warm to it. We've seen people see the advantages of it. We've seen people basically move forward and recognize that actually, there's some good to come out of this. I can actually press this button and there is my profit and loss, and I can press this button and there is my balance sheet. It's an interesting time, and I think the changes in time will actually lead to people believing that actually they look back and it wasn't that painful, and we've got something good out of this. So geography doesn't matter anymore. You may have an accountant who is one end of the country, you are the other side of the country. As long as your receipts are filed and your invoices are up to date and you've reconciled your bank account within the cloud-based accounting system, then you're on the road to being in a good place, because your accountant at the touch of a button can have a look at where you're at and can basically advise you accordingly. And this is what I'm referring to really with business advisory services, if you like. So we as accountants are not bookkeepers. Bookkeepers do bookkeeping, we do accounting and tax advice. We often work with lots of bookkeepers where there are individuals out there who are far too busy within their business to look after their own books and records. So the cloud-based accounting is useful to them. They know their way around it, but they want to appoint a bookkeeper who works with them, who also works with the accountant as like a go-between. That can work very well. The interesting thing about the transition to cloud-based accounting is the fact that under Making Tax Digital, when sole traders get dragged into the loop in April 2024, they're all going to have to subscribe to one of these cloud-based products. As I'm saying, I believe it's actually a useful transition. I believe it's a good transition. And I believe most people will find it useful if they ever want to try to plan and grow their business, and certainly keep a handle on some of these excessive costs that seem to be rising month in, month out. But I think that the main problem individual businesses, small sole traders, are going to have to cope with is the fact that they're going to have to subscribe to one of these scenarios and one of these products, and they are going to cost between £300 and £400 a year. We have an unlimited, this isn't a sales pitch by the way, but we have an unlimited access to a license called a product called Cashflow with a K. That is easy for us because we can actually roll that out to our clients at no cost at all, and that's therefore going to save them the cost of that. Why stop there? You know, I believe that moving forward we are able to assist as accountants and tax advisors in various ways. As I mentioned earlier on, we're more on a business advisory front now than we are just processing, if you like. So having the cloud-based accounting in place is just the start. In theory, it's great. People can be compliant. People can file their returns on a quarterly basis. But as a tool for the accountant, they can be very useful. So we are able to, 2 months before the end of an accounting year, we're able to assess how well a business is doing. We're able to advise before the year is out, so that we don't have to say, oh, I wish you'd done that. We can say, why don't you do this? And it's where proactivity comes to the fore. We're able to add value to our clients, already knowing their circumstances. And in the event that they might want to make a pension contribution through their limited company 2 months before the end of their trading year, because they've got enough working capital to see them through, great, because we can advise them accordingly in a timely manner, and they can save some tax on that. So that's us. We are able to do various things with that, but we do have that access to that cloud-based platform. In addition to that, and I'm rolling this out to anyone really, certainly Circle members. A few years ago, probably 3.5 years ago, not long after we started in business, we actually created a very useful little gadget tool on Excel, very simple. and it just works for us, and we can roll it out to our clients whenever it's required. And it enables us to do a bit of planning, and certainly now enables our clients to do a bit of planning. And the cost of living crisis is actually really what's brought this to the fore in my mind. So we've got a profit and loss Excel spreadsheet, we've got a balance sheet Excel spreadsheet, and we've got a cash flow Excel spreadsheet. And it enables us to forecast for the whole of the next 12 months. And individual clients, if they were to input their monthly figures from their cloud-based, and it takes 5 minutes, from their cloud-based product, from their profit and loss, from their balance sheet, into that particular month of this Excel spreadsheet, then the figures will change all the way through the year. So you can say, okay, well, next month I've got X amount of sales on, on the book. They can put that figure in, and they can, obviously a projection will always be a projection. And the further into the future you make it a projection, then obviously that's going to be less likely that it's going to be accurate. However, we all need something. None of us have got a crystal ball. So Enable to Plan, it's a useful planning tool because we can maintain the accuracy as we go along. We can update it month in, month out with actual figures, which just automatically changes the cash flow, which is more important than anything to most people. I'm happy to roll it out to anyone who wants it. If you want to put something in a message afterwards, I'm happy to pass it on. You've got your own accountants, that's fine with me. But I think it's a useful tool that we can just forward to anyone, and you can doctor it to your needs. Finally, how will we do for time, Jamie? Finally, we've got a situation where we're trying to help businesses on various levels. Jamie doesn't know this yet, but we've got a piece of software which is going to help us to help businesses who are already interacting with business coaches, business development managers, marketing associates. And everyone performs an important function in certain business operations. And being able to move forward in the best possible, efficient and effective and profitable way is what we all try to strive for. That's why we all engage with these various functions. So for the accountant to be recognizing that actually the business development manager or the coach is a must, is a need. So it's my dog's barking in the background. And for that to happen, and the marketing is such an important tool. I think that I said in Circle Networks yesterday that in Japan, I believe if there's a crisis, this is a financial downturn, I think that businesses that strive for success, they throw more of their budget at marketing than they ever have before, because they see an opportunity rather than a threat. They want to strive to get ahead. In this country, there's this natural gravitation towards cutting the budget on marketing. I don't see that as actually the way forward. There is an opportunity rather than a threat. Any downturn, even COVID, as horrible as it is, if we look at it financially, there were lots of issues that had to be overcome. Businesses that have succeeded saw opportunities and no doubt got a bit of a step up in a really, really difficult time. And they no doubt did that by recognizing the importance of marketing and so on. Our tool is linking in with the Making Tax Digital cloud-based software, and it's actually taking the cash flow forecast and it's taking it forward, and it enables us very quickly to actually not only get the figures but interpret the figures to produce key performance indicators, which we can provide to the business coach, to the business development manager, to the marketing associate, in order for them to do their job properly. It's pointless engaging with all these professionals to try and get somewhere in your business if they are misinterpreting or have completely wrong figures to look at, because they could send you in the wrong direction. And that's really the importance of it. So I'm going to leave you with a little quote. I like doing this. So this quote is, one of my passions in life has always been boxing. I've been into boxing for the whole of my life. And Muhammad Ali once said, I hated every minute of training, but I said to myself, don't quit, suffer now, and live the rest of your life as a champion. And that's the way forward. Thank you.